What if the fruit you've eaten your whole life, maybe even daily, is quietly working against you after 70? Bananas seem harmless, even healthy, right? But your aging metabolism sees them differently. If you've noticed more bloating, blood sugar spikes, or sluggish energy lately, this could be why. And the real danger? Most doctors don't bring it up. Bananas carry that aura. The perfect snack. Soft on the stomach, naturally sweet, full of energy. We've come to see them almost like medicine. A gift from nature. But something quietly shifts when we cross 70. The body becomes more delicate, more selective. What once helped may now hinder. What once gave energy might now take it away, gently, silently. And so we must pause, not to blame the banana, not to abandon tradition, but to ask the question that opens the door to longevity. Is this still right for me? Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, who lived to 105 and guided thousands of older adults in Japan, used to say that aging well means questioning the obvious, even the simplest habits, especially the simplest ones. Because in their repetition, we place our trust, and that trust deserves renewal. In the same spirit, Dr. Mark Hyman reminds us, there is no one-size-fits-all. Nutrition must be personal. What heals at 30 might harm at 70. After a certain age, our organs change. Digestion slows. Kidneys work harder. Muscles thin. Blood sugar rises more easily. And the innocent banana, so gentle in appearance, may now press on tender systems, unnoticed. But this isn't about fear. It's about clarity. About knowing that after 70, your breakfast matters more than ever. That the fruit you choose may shape your energy, your balance, even your ability to walk without help. That the smallest changes, the morning bite, the pairing of foods, can mark the difference between fatigue and vitality. Today, we will look at the banana with new eyes. We'll explore how it affects your sugar, your muscles, your kidneys, and your digestion. And more importantly, we'll uncover how to adapt, not give up, but gently reshape the habit so it serves your body right now just as you are. Because aging isn't about restriction, it's about precision. It's about listening, about noticing what no one taught us to notice, and adjusting softly, wisely, like pruning a plant that still wants to grow. Let's begin. She thought she was choosing well. A banana, first thing in the morning. It felt light, natural, no frying, no sugar, no effort. And yet, by mid-morning she was already tired. A little dizzy when getting up from the armchair. Sometimes her hands trembled slightly while making tea. She blamed age, the weather, a bad night's sleep, never the banana. But our body tells the truth, even in whispers. After 70, the way we process sugar changes. The pancreas becomes more sluggish. The cells are less responsive. This means that even a food as innocent as a ripe banana can cause a sudden rise in blood sugar, and then a fall. This drop brings fatigue, blurred thinking, and that strange sensation of being off balance, even after a full breakfast. Many older adults don't know that bananas, especially when very ripe, are high on the glycemic index. This means they release sugar rapidly into the bloodstream. The result? An energetic burst, followed by a crash. And that crash may be subtle. A nap you didn't plan. A stumble you weren't expecting, a heaviness in the eyes before noon. And when this becomes routine, every morning, every week, the body begins to suffer quietly. Insulin levels stay elevated. Inflammation creeps in. Muscles recover more slowly. Falls become more frequent. Not because of weakness, but because of instability that begins inside. It's not that bananas are bad. It's that bananas alone, especially on an empty stomach, speak too loudly to the aging body. A better path may be one of companionship. Half a banana paired with something grounding, like a boiled egg, a spoon of natural yogurt, or a handful of soaked walnuts. These proteins slow the absorption of sugar. They calm the spike. They whisper instead of shout. Because after 70, balance is not only a matter of the legs, it's a matter of the plate. A fruit that feels gentle can quietly shake your balance. And what you seek, steadiness, energy, clarity, may be closer than you think. Not in removing, but in rethinking. Not in fear, but in understanding. It sounds like a blessing. Potassium. a mineral we've been taught to cherish. It helps the heart, soothes the nerves, keeps the muscles working. And for decades, the banana has worn that crown. Eat one a day, they used to say. It's good for you. But as the years pass, what was once good must be seen through different eyes, because the body too grows old, and the parts that once filtered and balanced so easily now carry more weight, especially the kidneys. After 70, kidney function naturally slows. Even without disease, the filtering becomes more fragile, and potassium, though essential, becomes harder to process. It no longer flows through and out. It lingers. It builds. And sometimes, without warning, it turns against you. Legs that feel heavier, a heartbeat that stutters, a confusion that appears in the middle of a sentence. These are not always signs of aging. Sometimes they are signs of overload. Quiet accumulations the body can no longer manage. And when medications like ACE inhibitors or certain diuretics enter the picture, the risk deepens. They hold potassium in. What once nourished may now disturb. There was a woman, 72, still walking her dog every morning. She began eating bananas to stop her leg cramps, a well-meaning choice. But weeks later, her legs weakened further. Her balance slipped. Her doctor, puzzled, reviewed her labs. Potassium was high, too high. The solution wasn't a pill. It was simply this: less banana, more awareness. And slowly her legs began to hold her again. This is not about blaming the fruit. It's about honoring the filter. The kidneys that have carried your life's work, your salt, your waste, your water, now ask for gentler rhythms. Not complete avoidance, but moderation. 1 or 2 bananas a week may be enough, especially when the body speaks in cramps, in fatigue, in an irregular beat. Even nature's sweetness can turn bitter if the body's filter is tired. And there is no shame in that. There is only wisdom, the kind that listens when silence becomes a signal, the kind that adjusts not with fear but with care, the kind that asks, what does my body need now, not what it needed before? A banana may still belong in your life, but its place must be earned, not assumed. He used to be strong, carried groceries with one hand, fixed the roof without thinking, lifted his grandchildren high into the air. Now, tying his shoes felt like bending the trunk of an old tree. His doctor said, "You're losing muscle. It's normal at your age." So he started eating more bananas. For the cramps, for the energy, for the belief that fruit meant strength. But strength isn't built on sugar, not even natural sugar. The body after 70 needs more than quick energy. It needs the building blocks, the bricks, not just the flame. Muscles, especially aging ones, rely on amino acids. They come not from sweetness, but from protein, from what's grown slowly, what's chewed with effort, what carries the weight of nourishment. Bananas can offer fuel, yes, but without the bricks, the walls cannot rise. What the legs need is support from within, from the foods that carry life's structure: eggs, legumes, seeds, broths rich with marrow, soft tofu, and slow-cooked grains. In Okinawa, where many live past 90 with strength and clarity, breakfast isn't sweet. It begins with warmth. A bowl of miso soup, some seaweed, fermented foods, a bit of fish. These aren't heavy meals, but meals with purpose. Meals that protect the hands from shaking and the knees from giving way. There's a quiet wisdom in that, a tradition that speaks through texture, through the first bite of the day. Because after 70, the morning meal isn't just fuel. It's a message to the body. Stay strong, I'm still here. One gentle swap, a soft-boiled egg, a handful of sautéed spinach, a few berries, can mean the difference between muscle that fades and muscle that holds. You can't rebuild your legs with fruit alone. You need the bricks, not just the fuel. And maybe the greatest strength isn't found in lifting weights, but in lifting the fork with intention. In eating for structure, not just for habit. In choosing what holds you up. Not only what tastes sweet, it happens without notice. The banana that was firm yesterday softens overnight. Its skin darkens, its scent grows sweeter. For many, this is the perfect time to eat it. Tender, easy to chew, comforting in its familiarity. But inside the aging body, sweetness isn't always softness. Sometimes it's a strain, especially for the gut. As bananas ripen, they're resistant starch, the kind that feeds good bacteria and moves gently through the intestines. transforms into simple sugar. It's a quiet shift, invisible to the eye, but not to the digestive system. For those in their 70s or 80s where motility slows and the rhythm of digestion becomes more delicate, this change matters. An overripe banana can bring not comfort, but bloating. Not relief, but sluggishness. The very fruit once praised for aiding the bowels may now be part of the problem. And so, unknowingly, many wake up with constipation, a sense of heaviness, or irregular bathroom visits, never imagining the cause might be their morning routine. But tradition offers another lens. In ancient Ayurvedic practice, bananas weren't eaten ripe and sweet. They were cooked, green, added to savory dishes, not to satisfy the tongue, but to calm the gut. In that form, they worked as medicine. Not dessert, not habit, but support. There is something beautiful about that approach. The idea that the same food, prepared differently, can serve a different season of life. For the older gut, still deserving of dignity, an unripe or just yellow banana, gently cooked with oats or sliced into warm millet, may offer more than sweetness. It may offer peace. It may keep the inner world moving, without struggle or strain. The riper the banana, the sneakier its sugar. Your gut knows before you do. And perhaps that's the lesson here. To pay attention not only to what we eat, but to how it feels hours later. To trust the body's quiet signs, a little discomfort, a shift in regularity, as messages, not annoyances. Messages that say, please be gentle. I'm still here, still trying. And in listening, we give ourselves the care we always gave others. Now finally returned inward. She always thought of bananas as safe, familiar. They were the fruit of lunchboxes, the first food for her children when they had the flu, the quiet comfort after a walk. Even when other things slipped away, her husband's scent on his coat, the names of old songs, the banana remained, always there, always good. But the body remembers what the mind forgets. And as the years move forward, the body begins to ask for new kinds of care, even from the things we've trusted most. We age with habits that were born in different bodies, younger ones, stronger, faster, more forgiving. And it's easy, so easy, to carry those habits forward without question. Because they feel like home, they feel like us. But the truth is that the body over 70 is not broken. It's wiser, it's slower, yes, but not less worthy. In fact, it's more in need of listening, of gentleness, of understanding that what once gave life might now need to be reimagined. This is not about demonizing a fruit. It's not about fear. It's about relationship. The relationship between your body and the food you give it every day. Not just what you put on the plate, but how it lands inside you, how it moves, how it heals or strains or lingers where it shouldn't. A banana can still be sweet, but sweetness is not the same as support. And after 70, support must come first. Too often we assume that because something is natural, it's harmless. But even the most natural thing must pass through an aging filter. A liver that's seen decades, kidneys that have carried quiet burdens, a gut that has stretched and contracted through years of worry, loss, celebration, and silence. These organs now ask for different companions, lighter hands, softer arrivals. There's a quiet heartbreak in realizing that something so comforting may no longer serve you. But there's also dignity in it. Because what this really means is that you are still paying attention, that you still believe your health is worth tending, that you are not done learning, adjusting, adapting, not because you are weak, but because you are alive. And the living always change. Bananas can still belong, but not blindly, not on an empty stomach, not when the kidneys whisper for relief, not when the sugar dances too quickly through your veins, not when the muscles ache for protein, for bricks, for support. These are not small things. They are the quiet roots of what keeps you upright, steady, and clear. And to tend them is to respect them, not with restriction, but with awareness. Dr. Hinohara didn't live past 100 by clinging to youth. He lived by honoring age, by seeing it not as a decline, but as a refinement. A period of simplification, yes, but also of personalization. Of asking over and over again, does this still serve me? Not just in food, but in thought, in movement, in the way we greet the morning. Dr. Mark Hyman echoes the same truth with a modern lens. Food is not neutral. It's not background. It's not just habit or taste or culture. It's a message. Every bite tells your body something. And over time, those messages shape how you walk, how you think, how you feel at 2 p.m., or how you sleep at night. They shape whether you can still button your shirt, or carry a bag of oranges, or hold a grandchild's hand without trembling. It begins not with a diagnosis. It begins at the breakfast table. This isn't about fixing everything. No one is asking you to become someone else. It's about small shifts chosen with love. A banana with yogurt instead of alone. A handful of berries and spinach instead of reaching for the same sweetness every morning. A slower meal, a deeper breath before eating, a glass of warm water before the first bite. These things don't require money or miracle pills. They require something rarer, attention. And isn't that what we've all longed for? To be noticed, to be seen. Especially in these later chapters where silence often replaces conversation and solitude replaces noise. The body wants attention, not drama, not fear, just attention. And food is one of the most intimate ways we offer it. If you've felt more tired lately, it's not just the years. If your legs ache more, your thinking fogs quicker, your digestion is slower, it's not just time. It may be that the body is calling for a different rhythm, one that matches who you are now, not who you used to be. And that call deserves to be answered not with frustration, but with care. That care begins in the smallest of places, the corner of the counter where the fruit sits, the moment your hand reaches out in habit, the breath before the first bite. These moments shape the rest of the day. They tell the body whether it will spend the morning balancing sugar, straining the kidneys, or building strength. And when you're over 70, each one of those choices matters more. Not because you're fragile, but because you are refining your energy, and energy is precious. There is nothing wrong with the banana. What matters is how it fits into the whole. Just like a song can soothe or agitate depending on the time of day, the same food can help or hinder depending on your age, your medication, your morning, your needs. There is power in understanding that. Power in adjusting. Power in giving your body what it asks for now. Not what it used to tolerate, but what it quietly craves today. And in that adjustment, there is no shame. There is grace. Because to change for your health is not to give something up. It's to reclaim something you forgot you had. Authority. Over your plate. Over your energy. Over how you want to feel for the rest of your days. Somewhere along the way, many of us were taught that aging meant fading. But what if it simply means tuning in more deeply? What if the banana that once carried you can now teach you how to listen better, to be more precise, more discerning, more compassionate toward the body that has carried you this far? You are not fragile. You are ripe, full of knowledge, full of tenderness, full of the right to change something, even something as small as your morning fruit. The smallest fruit can shape the biggest outcomes if you listen to what your aging body is really asking for. And maybe, just maybe, it's not asking for sweetness. It's asking for balance, for strength, for care, and most of all, for you. Fully present, quietly powerful, finally feeding yourself with the same love you gave to everyone else.